Hello everybody, this is Francis Santarose, kind of new to YouTube. I just started uploading videos. I've been watching them for 2 years and I've wanted to upload, but I just stayed away for the longest time. And I can't avoid it any longer. I'm starting to upload. God has given me so much information that I've got to give it out. So, just to give you a real quick backdrop on me, before I proceed with part 2 of God Confirmed the Rapture 3 times in 3 days. In 1995, God told me that my business was going to be a Christian business and that I was going to teach the Word. It was an audible voice. It's happened a few times to me, something I couldn't deny. My wife and I immediately sent out a memo to all of our customers telling them starting the next day it would be a Christian business and we would teach Bible study. It's a kid's business. Actually, we had a 2-part business. I'm a martial arts instructor, and I also started an after-school and summer camp for kids called KidFit. That was for kids too old for daycare but too young to be home alone. So in our KidFit division, we sent a memo out to our parents saying, starting tomorrow when we pick the kids up from school, we're going to bring them back. We'll do about 15-20 minutes of Bible study, and then we'll play our regular sports and games. Well, we had almost 100 kids in our camp, and the following day, we only had 7. And I was young in my faith. I think I got saved around 1990 to 91. And so this was about 95. I was really I'd been digging in the Word for about 2 to 3 years, really heavy, just getting into the Word, studying. I'm a study maniac. So, ironically, when I look back on it, it didn't shake me. It didn't shake my wife either. We were just like, oh well. And it was a huge blow to our income. Hello, we probably dropped $20,000 immediately a month, gone. So we just chugged along and kept doing, and God brought in another 5 here and 10 kids there and 10 more here and 50. Well, by the end of the year, we were back up to 100. Within 2 years, we had added 4 locations. Within 4 years, we had added 10 locations. Within 8 years, we had added 22 locations. And we were preaching the gospel all over Houston, Texas, and the surrounding counties. It was awesome. So anyways, that's kind of our history. Getting back to my confirmation on 3 days in a row. After I got that word from the Lord, the confirmation, the 3rd confirmation, you can, if you want to hear it, you go back to the last video. But the next day, I woke up, I boldly asked God for more revelation, but this time regarding the year. The word he gave me was that Satan would be crushed under our feet shortly. But shortly, to God, if one day the Lord is 1,000 years to us, shortly, well, that was written 2,000 years ago, so shortly, in my spirit, I knew it meant soon, but for everybody else, what does shortly really mean? So I said, God, when's the year? I didn't narrow him down to the day or the hour, because by that verse, no one knows the day or the hour, although since then, God has revealed the meaning of that to me, and it doesn't mean that at all, but, that'll be another lesson. So I said, God, what's the year? What year do you plan on coming? And in my spirit, this time it wasn't an audible voice, but it was very clear. I heard the Holy Spirit ask me, what date is it? So I heard it in my mind, but I'm answering him aloud with my voice. I said 2016. This was back in August 2016. And I said 2016. Now my wife is running around the house getting ready for work, and she's looking at me like I'm nuts because I'm having a conversation out loud and I'm having a conversation with nobody. And she's not getting it. She doesn't really understand. She just hears me talking out loud to nobody. So I responded and said 2016. And the Holy Spirit said, no. What year is it in the Hebrew calendar? Well, I know from studying that it at that time was the year 5776. So I said 5776. Then he said, if the Feast of Trumpets, Rosh Hashanah, is the Jewish New Year, and if it is currently 5776, what year will it be this Rosh Hashanah? And I said 5777. And I heard the Holy Spirit say, what? Like he didn't hear me. Like he wanted me to repeat it. But, he heard me, obviously. But it was like he didn't hear me. So I repeated it. I said, 5777. And I hear him say it again. So I said, 5777. And I'm confused. And I heard him say it again. This time, say it slower. And I said, 5, 7, 7, 7. And boom! It hits me. 777. God's perfect number and the number of completion. And I believed in my spirit, I just knew in my spirit that the rapture was going to happen in the Jewish year 5777, which began in September or October. I forget when the Feast of Trumpets was. That's Rosh Hashanah. That's our Jewish New Year. From then until then, somewhere in 2017 for us, or 5777 for them. So let's put this all into perspective. It's time to go home. And he hasn't told me what week or what month yet, just what year. And this year is half over. So we only have a little bit of time. And it's my advice to you to get your affairs in order. And when I say get your affairs, not prep or, get your house in order. I'm saying your heart. One thing that God told me was I was going through some serious trials and I was just crying out to the Lord. And I was like, just come and take us now. And I promise you, I heard the Lord say to me, you're not ready to go. And I was floored, absolutely floored. I'm like, what are you talking about, not ready to go? I love you. And he began to show me all these things in my life that I had put in front of him. And he said, get rid of everything. Make me first again. Come back to your first love. And then all those verses in Revelations 2 and 3 just came flooding back to me, where he's just saying, come back to your first love. Come back to your first love. So I want to say to you, look through your life. If there's anything that you've been making more important than your Father, get rid of it. Put your life in perspective. The time is definitely short. I don't know the day and I don't know the hour, but I do know we're almost out of time. All right. I'll talk to you soon.